PunchBoxingHour.com, streaming to you live as always on Ustream.tv. Timmy the producer Patterson over there at the controls, Nestor Garza Romero, Emil Soto Babinski Kekabine. I'm your host Chris Guzman. On the phone right now, I've got cruiserweight sensation BJ Flores. BJ, what is going on, man?
No, nothing. Just back in Vegas. What did I do today? I had lunch with my strength and conditioning coach. We talked about a couple things. I had what's called the Pazuki, which is ice cream with a warm cookie on the bottom, and it was pretty dang good. Then after that, I went and laid by the pool and had a virgin strawberry daiquiri. So today's been a pretty good day.
You're in training, are you?
That's exactly what I expect the diet of the future cruiserweight champion of the world to enjoy a couple days after a win like that.
That's exactly what's going on right now.
You know what?
Weekend, playing in the golf tournament, just going to kick back and just relax, and we're going to get back to work next week, though.
Well, it's hard to relax in Vegas, I hear.
No, it's great. Actually, we've got this little hotel called the N that's about 5 miles off the strip. It's just really kicked back, and me and my girl and some friends went out there. Just really nice, really fun. Very
nice. Well, hey, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. We have to talk about a little Epifanio Mendoza because you put a hurt locker on that poor guy. BJ Flores still undefeated, 24-0-1, 15 knockouts. Now you were putting it to this guy this was classic BJ Flores, just hurting him with everything you threw. How did you feel coming into this fight, by the way, BJ?
I felt great. I mean, I had been training for about 6 or 7 weeks, and it was tough, Chris. I mean, I talked to you before, and we were having a tough time finding an opponent. We went down to NABO ratings, and people can say, "Oh, the fight, he got the guy on last minute notice," but we legitimately offered the fight to like 7 other guys rated in the top 10. And at the end of the day, Mendoza was the guy who said, "Hey, listen, I have 25 knockouts in 29 fights, and I'm going to knock Flores out. I don't care what weight he's at." So, I liked that he came in, and he was expecting to win, and he's given everybody a tough fight, to be honest with you, except Chad Dawson. But, a lot of people think he beat Lacey, and he had a tough fight with Debu Shumanov. He just fought for the light heavyweight championship of the world. And, I mean, he's a tough guy, so I respect that he came in on 3 weeks' notice, which he told me is much longer than he got to fight Jeff Lacey or to fight Debu Shumanov. He said 3 weeks seemed like an eternity for him to get ready. So, but at the same time, I mean, he came in tough, and, I was just really happy with the performance. I felt fantastic.
So the people that saw your performance there, they might be saying, yeah, but this Mendoza, I've never heard of him. He's a slouch. You're here to say, look at the guy's record. The guy's been in there with some of the best in the world.
I mean, listen, he's not a world beater, but the guy's a tough guy. And even the commentators before the fight were saying, hey, this is BJ's toughest opponent, which in my book is absolutely not true. There's a lot of guys who I thought that have been tougher than him, but on paper, with 25 knockouts and 29 fights, I mean, he looks pretty good on paper. He's given everybody tough fights. I mean, nobody's had an easy time with him. Nobody except Chad Dawson and now myself. So that's a nice class to be in. And he's not the best in the world, but it's not really that I beat the best in the world. It's how I did it, and that's kind of boxing. How you beat the guys. And I felt like it was very, very one-sided.
Who would you say is your best opponent that you fought? Is it Dingling Man?
Probably. He, to be honest with you, he wasn't probably the toughest style to figure out, but he had a lot of things that made him difficult because I was coming off a long layoff. I think if I fought Dingling now, back at that time, it'd be a much different fight. But, I have 3 fights now by August. My timing, my speed, my confidence, my conditioning, everything is way, way, way up from when it was then. So, but, it was a fight I got through, but he was one of my tougher opponents. Patrick Nwamu was a very tough opponent because he was a good boxer and he ran the whole time. And he actually beat Tino Eckenheimer, in a 10-round decision, like 9 rounds to 1. So people don't really know that I beat a guy like that. And he was a very good boxer. He's a southpaw. And a couple other guys I fought were kind of tough. Herrera was kind of tough because my hand was hurt. And he had gotten a good win over Aaron Williams and a guy named George Blades, who was 23-2, and he knocked them both out. And,
Blades
with the hand injury, that fight was made tougher than it had to be also. So,
Yeah, Blades is a local guy. We actually cover a couple of his fights here in Indiana.
Yeah, Chicago. He's a Chicago fighter generally. Let's talk about the Mendoza 4th round because that's when it all happened. At what point did you realize that he had hurt himself?
I didn't really realize that he came out in the very beginning and shot a double jab. And when he shot the double jab, that's when he kind of acted like he hurt his shoulder. So I don't know. My strength and conditioning coach was on the same flight as him the next day. and he said he saw him and he was carrying his bags and everything. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened, but like Roy said at the press conference, Roy said, you know, when you're getting hit from all directions and you're getting hurt, then everything starts hurting. So I don't absolutely know necessarily what exactly happened to his shoulder. Maybe he did pop it out, he popped it back in, but they saw him the next day and he was fine. So I think it was only a matter of time. It wouldn't have went more than a round or two because I was really starting to find my range.
Oh, there's no question. That was going to be a Flores win any which way. I mean, if his leg had fallen off, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. That's the way it was heading. That's true. Let's talk about the cruiserweight division. We had you on Bolo Punch about 9 months ago, and you were talking quite a bit about guys like Cunningham, who you're cool with.
Adamek.
Thomas Adamek. How has the cruiserweight division changed, if at all, in the last 7, 8, 9 months?
What's changed is Victor Ramirez is now a champion from Argentina. Marco Huck is fighting him August 29th. Ola Afolabi is now a champion. Jacoby Fragomeni is now a champion. There's a lot of changes, actually. Adamek and Cunningham are supposed to fight in November or December, and then they're talking about Adamek going to heavyweight and fighting Andrew Gulata or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Adamek's kind of not even really in the radar right now because of the previous dealings that we had with main events and the offer and kind of all the bad press they put out there on me for not taking a fight with him for $30,000. I'm not really interested in that fight until obviously it gets bigger than that. But there are guys like Huck and Ramirez and Fragomeni that I'm very, very interested in, and my promoters are working extremely, extremely hard right now to secure a big opponent for me November 21st.
No.
I would love to fight Fragomeni. I would love to fight Huck. I would love to fight Ramirez. The winner of that fight. Those are all three big names that are going to be world champions or are world champions, and those are guys that I know I can beat and guys that I feel comfortable fighting on my next fight. So if we can make it right, I'm all for it.
How interested in these guys how interested are these guys in giving you the belt, basically? How much do they want to fight you?
You know what? I don't know. I think I've got a decent name for a cruiserweight over here in the United States. Love me or hate me. I think people know what my name is from the ESPN thing and then the activity I've had this year. So it's not like they're just going to be fighting a no-name guy. I don't have the biggest name in the world, but people generally know who I am. I'm kind of overseas as well. So I mean, we're really hoping to get Fragomeni, to be honest with you, and the reason is because we could get him over to Australia and getting into the business side of it. The Italian TV might be willing to throw in a little money. They could go towards his purse, so we might be able to make that fight fairly reasonable. And it's just a very winnable fight for me. I can beat Fragomeni. There's no question about it. I will beat Fragomeni. And if I don't, then I will stand corrected. But I really feel like I can beat him. I feel like I can become a champion on my next fight. I feel like I could beat Huck. I feel like I could beat Ramirez. And those guys are all champions, so I'm really starting to realize and get close to my goal here. So I've put pressure on my promoters, Square Ring, Bobby Goodman, John Wirt, and Eric Botcher. I told them, get me a big fight for Australia. It's going to be a big opportunity for me. We're going to have big TV. Let me fight a big fight on that card. So everyone's working full steam ahead on it, and I'm just going to sit back and keep emailing and keep bothering everybody, and hopefully we can get something.
How intriguing is Huck and all of his fans? All the money involved in that.
Marco Huck will bring 30,000 fans on his own.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good following. I don't know if they're all going to fly out to Australia, but I know the German TV pays big money. And the thing with Marco Huck is, to be honest with you, he wouldn't come to Australia, I doubt it. Marco Huck wins the fight with Ramirez, and I'm going to have to go to Germany to fight him because Sauerland is not letting Marco Huck leave. But if Ramirez wins, or Fragomeni, if we can make a deal with them, then I think those are two guys that will come to Australia and we can make a fight. So we're in a good situation.
Fighting in Germany's out of the question for you, or?
It's not out of the question. It just would be for my next fight.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you're already signed up for
my next
Australia.
Fight. If we're talking about my next fight, I'm already penciled in to fight as the co-main event on the November 21st card in Sydney, Australia. So that's going to be a huge, huge event for Square Ring, and they told me to already start getting ready for it.
BJ, let's take a really quick break, and we'll be right back. This is BJ Flores, cruiserweight contender, here with Bolo Punch. We'll be right back.
Rogie Insurance is a 4